prelims at 8 Eastern over on ESPN News. To order the main card, go to espnplus.com/PPV. We've got a title fight on our hands between Purdue and Illinois. Big Ten battle. Loser of this game eliminated for the Big Ten West contention. Purdue trying to cling on to this touchdown lead. Let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio.
Yeah, and again, Jay, those who are tuning in to see the UCF Tulane matchup top 25 battle in a colossal showdown in the American, you can see it starting right now over on ESPN News. Major
job with the pass breakup on that last possession.
Lawrence Keys fields the Riker Casey kickoff and runs out of bounds at the 26. A flag at the end of the play.
During the return, holding, receiving team, number 12. 10-yard penalty, first down.
First offensive drive now for Tulane. This is a green wave offense that is run heavy. They run it about 60% of the time. They've been one of the great bounce-back stories in college football. 8-1 this year after 2-10 a season ago. Michael Pratt is the quarterback, and right now, Brock, he's playing the best football of his college career.
He really is. He's done a great job the last couple games. Look to see him continue that trend today.
Last 3 games, Tulane has run the ball exceptionally well, and so they come out throwing. And Pratt had a wide open Deuce Watts. It's incomplete, second down.
That's a ball that Deuce Watts needs to come up with, especially with the windy conditions today. Michael Pratt could not have put that ball in a better position for his playmaker at 6'2", 200 pounds outside to bring that ball in. That's just a play we have not seen Deuce Watts miss this season. He's had a great year with 21 receptions and 5 touchdowns already. Look for him to make up for that play later on in the ball game.
The give is to Tajay Spears, and he tumbles to the 20. Spears has run for at least 125 yards in 3 straight games. Second in the conference in rushing, second in the conference in touchdowns. UCF said it best. Tulane always knows where 22 is, so we have to know where 22 is. Pratt to the air. And that one is juggled and dropped by D.D. McDougal. So 2 drops on the opening drive, and it's a 3-and-out for Tulane.
Yeah, that's definitely not the way you want to start the ball game. You want to come out, get the home crowd into it. You know, not perfect balls by any means, but Michael Pratt put the ball where his playmakers can make a catch. That's very interesting, though, coming out with 2 passes in the first 3 plays. Let's be honest. Tajay Spears, running back, that's how this offense goes. They got to get him started early.
Glover's kick, fielded by Xavier Townsend, and he goes nowhere. Tonight in Austin, Big 12, ABC, Saturday Night Football presented by Capital One. Undefeated TCU, number 4 in the college football rankings. They'll take on Texas. Horned Frogs looking to stay in the playoff Polaroid. They're also looking to wrap up a spot in the Big 12 title game. They can do that with a win tonight.
It's going to be a really fun game to watch going down in Austin, Texas tonight. Battle between 2 great football teams.
Second drive for UCF, and it's R.J. Harvey in the backfield. Plumlee, little RPO, and Baker stiff arms his way close to the 40, shoved out by Monroe.
You can see the respect that Jarius Monroe at cornerback has for Javon Baker for UCF. He knows he has speed. He knows he can just flat out run. Played press bail technique, got out of there right there on that last play.
Here's Harvey. No, it's Plumlee throwing for Baker a little behind. Monroe in coverage again, so they're going after Monroe early, and he's held his own. There is a penalty marker away from the play.
I think Monroe might have got away with one there. There's a little tug of the jersey, a little grab of the arm. It's good to see them let them play.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Now, Brock, you have the RPO. you have to worry about that player going more than 3 yards downfield.
Certainly, it's something we talked about early in the week. We talked about it at breakfast this morning. We talked about it pregame. Something that both these teams do, they live and die on the RPO play, the run-pass option. Well, the offensive lineman doesn't know if you handed the ball off to the running back or if you're throwing it. Once that offensive lineman is 3 yards down the field, he can't go any farther without it being a penalty.
Back to the air, now Plumlee runs. Gaping hole. He's got the 30, it's a foot race. Touchdown! Multiple flags at the end of the play. That might be a horse collar on Larry Brooks. John Rice Plumlee, a triumphant return back to the lineup.
Rice Plumlee catching Tulane and man-to-man defense once again, and you can see the wheels that this quarterback has. He can run with the best of them. He's already broke off 2 explosive runs catching Tulane in man-to-man defense. If Tulane is going to contain John Rice Plumlee today, they need to flip over to zone defense so they can keep eyes into the backfield.
3 rushes, 118 yards already for Plumlee. 67 on that touchdown. The PAT is good. That is the 4th 100-yard game of the season for Plumlee. It's his longest rush of the season and his 8th rushing touchdown. The Knights off to a fast start on the road.
Do you have an invention idea?
ESPN College Football is presented by Sonos. Experience game-changing sound made easy.
It is 10-0 UCF. 10:49 to go in the first quarter. John Rice Plumlee, a 67-yard touchdown run. Rice Plumlee got hurt in the Cincinnati game at the end of October. It was a head injury. He did not play last week, although he was cleared to play last week. Comes back and instant impact. Already 115 rushing yards for UCF. And they try a squibber, and Tulane falls on it at the 20.
Going back to the last touchdown, UCF catching Tulane in man-to-man defense. Tulane safety, Lumi Young playing from depth. He's in man-to-man coverage on the running back in the backfield. Dorian Williams, the lone linebacker in the box, is going to pressure from the edge. Once again, leaving no one to cover John Rice Plumlee at the quarterback position. A guy with wheels and speed like John Rice Plumlee, you need to have eyes on him. You might want to start thinking about playing some zone defense.
Spears, he's got running room. Midfield. Tajay Spears tripped up inside the 20-yard line. He'll take it all the way down to about the 10-yard line. Jarvis Ware saved a touchdown. Oh, we're throwing haymakers early in New Orleans.
Fans, don't kid yourself. Michael Pratt at quarterback is having a tremendous season, but Tajay Spears at running back is the star of this team. Tulane goes as Tajay Spears goes. You see there getting behind the pulling guard and tackle, making a big play out in space.
Spears gets a breather. Split backs now. Iverson Celestine and Shadi Clayton. They give his to Clayton. And he's stopped after a short pickup. Clayton, a Colorado transfer, returning home to New Orleans to play at Tulane, is coming off a career-high 106 yards last week against Tulsa. First career 100-yard game.
Right now, you're going to see a game within the football game. UCF leading the nation in red zone defense, only giving up touchdowns a little over 30% of the time. If Tulane is going to win this ball game today, they need to find a way to score touchdowns and not kick field goals.
Knight's second best red zone defense in the country, behind only Georgia. Spears cuts a jagged path inside the 5, down to the 2. It's 3rd and goal.
Now Tyjae Spears, 5'11", 195. Don't kid yourself. Yes, he is a speedster. If you give him space, he's gone. But he can also lower his shoulder. He's got some explosion in him, and he's a strong running back that can get you yards between the tackles.
Last week, this Tulane offense ran for 357 against Tulsa. 2 tight ends. Tyreek James, the motion man. Pratt, fade. Caught by Watts. Touchdown, Tulane.
Watts with the early drop on the first play of the game, coming back, making up for it, saying to his teammates, don't worry, I got you. Bring the ball back my way. Michael Pratt, great throw, great catch, tremendous accuracy, great location of that throw. And Watts did a tremendous job of bringing in that ball, turning away from the defensive back and protecting that catch.
Valentino Ambrosio for the PAT. And Tulane has entered the chat for Deuce Watts, his 5th touchdown in 6 games. And it's 10-7 with 8:39 to go in the first.
Michael Pratt just taking advantage of the one-on-one matchup at the top of the field. Devontae Brown versus Deuce Watts, great matchup, 2 big guys. And you see there, Devontae Brown, he has his head turned to the quarterback. What a perfect time to go with the back shoulder rather than throwing the fade back to the back pylon. Great decision by Michael Pratt, tremendous accuracy.
UCF will use a lot of man coverage. They trust their cornerbacks, Brown and Brandon Adams. That time, Deuce Watts just won a one-on-one matchup. Something to watch, though, on the back end of that UCF defense. They're down both starting safeties. Quadric Bullard is out. Devad Wilson is out. Now, Kobe Perry and Jarvis Ware, who were elevated, both have experienced 5th-year guys.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a challenge for UCF to make up with two of their starters at the safety position out for this ball game. And let's not kid ourselves. Devad Wilson, Quadric Bullard, 2 tremendous football players that really are 2 of the leaders of this football team.
The wind knocking the ball off the tee. That may happen a few times tonight. Ryan O'Keefe waiting at his own goal line, averaging better than 21 yards a return. And Casey Glover will send it away. Knight's ball at the 25. John Rice Plumlee leading the offense back out on the field for a 3rd drive. Field goal on the opening drive, a touchdown on the last one. And they come out and empty with Johnny Richardson, the running back, in the slot. He's now the motion man. And there it is, Richardson, who's got great speed, flashes the speed and picks up 9 before Monroe brought him down.
Javon Baker, wide receiver at the top of your screen. Not only is he making big plays in the passing game, delivering a big-time block there. Big-time collision with the safety, chasing down the tackle.
Tulane head coach Willie Fritz telling us that UCF by far is the fastest team Tulane has seen this season. Plumlee too high, and Kobe Hudson was not ready for it, and he's lucky that wasn't intercepted as we check in with Taylor.
The Tulane defense's message from their coaches was just settle in. We know Tulane has been really good on defense all year long, but they feel like they came out almost too energized. The message, stay consistent with this scheme, take a deep breath, we're fine.
It's a charged up game. Ranked versus ranked. First place on the line in the American Conference. 3rd down and short. Plumlee keeps, gets the edge, and gets a 1st down.
You see right there, perfect display of John Rice's speed. Darius Hodges is right there to make the play for a loss. Plumlee says, not so fast. I got some wheels, kid. I'm going to get around this edge.
As a defense, he makes you account for the quarterback on every single play. Harvey to the 39, a pickup of 2. R.J. Harvey began his career as a quarterback at Virginia. Now in his 3rd season at UCF and coming off the best game of his career.
You talk about UCF speed. Well, for Tulane, the key is going to be keeping everyone in front of you and taking great tackle angles. If you take a bad angle, you're not going to be able to make the tackle.
Here's O'Keefe. He's got room to run. And upended in Tulane territory by Robinson. Tulane wants you to take the 3- and 4-yard plays. UCF wants the chunk plays, and the Knights are getting those plays early on. We welcome those of you who watched Purdue knock off Illinois to make the Big Ten West much more interesting. We welcome you to New Orleans. Tulane and UCF, 2 ranked teams. And Tulane playing host as a ranked team to another ranked team for the first time since 1949. Anish Shroff, Brock Osweiler, Taylor McGregor down on the field. A lot of action already. 10-7 Knights. They're driving. John Rice Plumlee back after missing last week's game. Gets out inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. Knights hit a field goal on their opening drive. Plumlee had a 67-yard touchdown run in the next drive. Tulane answered on a Michael Pratt touchdown pass to Deuce Watts. We've been throwing haymakers since this thing started.
If you like explosive offensive plays and big hits, this is the game for you today. Great energy early in this ball game.
Big 3rd down for UCF. They've excelled on 3rd downs this season. 49%. Plumlee's hit. Baker makes the catch, but did not stay in bounds. Did not get a foot in, so it's 4th down. And don't be surprised if the offense stays out on the field.
Certainly, you're kind of in no man's land, right? You're out of field goal range, but punting might gain you only 10, 15, 20 yards, so what's the point? With an explosive offense like UCF has, top 15 in the nation, this is certainly 4-down territory.
UCF trumpets the #1 offense in the American. Tulane heralds the #1 defense in the American. They will go for it. 8 of 11 on 4th downs this season. They'll give you the window dressing and the eye candy. Plumlee rolling right. Has room to run. And he takes a big hit. The ball comes out. Tulane picks it up. Nick Anderson rumbling inside the 30 before R.J. Harvey tracks him down.
When you're in big-time football games, just like this one, a top 25 matchup, whoever wins this game is in first place in the American. The football game usually comes down to 2 things. 1, turnovers. Right there, we'll see that's probably going to go into replay. Tulane's had a great job this year. They're plus margin in the turnover game, where UCF is in the minus territory at -5. And then the second factor is what happens in the trenches. Games like this are won and lost between the offensive line and defensive line.
Is he down before that ball starts to come out? Hard to tell from that angle. Yeah, the other thing with John Rice Plumlee that you worry about, where does he get hit? Remember, he was impacted in the Cincinnati game with a hit to the head and then did not play against Memphis last week.
Now, you would have to assume with the image that we're seeing when we freeze it that Rice Plumlee still has possession of the ball when that right knee hits the ground, but the defender's kind of shielding that view, and you have to remember, unless there's indisputable video evidence, the ruling on the field is it is a fumble.
And that was the call on the field, so now you're looking for evidence to overturn the call, and so far there's nothing that we've seen that would do that.
Yeah, I agree. Got to give credit, though, to Plumlee, playing fearless. He knows what's at stake today. Chance to be in first place in the division. Control your own destiny. You're going to see a lot of guys playing extremely hard today and laying it all out there on the line.
Right there, when that right knee goes down, is the ball coming out. And again, if we have a little bit of gray area, the call on the field will stand.
That's exactly right. It has to be without any question.
So here's the question.
This.
Right there, you can see that right knee goes down, but from that angle, it's impossible to tell if the ball's coming out.
That's correct. And it has to be a clear-cut decision that that ball was secured as the knee was down without any reasonable doubt for UCF to retain possession.
They're looking at this a long time.
This is one of those ones, if you're a UCF fan, it's not a fumble. If you're a Tulane fan, it's absolutely a fumble.
That looks like they're going to overturn the call.
You know, that last freeze frame that we had from the back angle looks like Rice Plumlee had the ball secured just for a split second as his knee was down.
Yeah, the question, Brock, that I have, was that indisputable?
There's a little bit of gray area in that one. You know, and at the end of the day, there is human element in this, right? There is a human on the other end of the camera making this decision.
As long as it's indisputable to the replay official, and that appears to be the case, so that's a game changer. So Tulane, instead of having the ball inside the UCF 30, they come back on defense. The UCF offense was coming back out on the field. It looks like the teams know, even though we have not heard an official call just yet.
After further review, the runner's knee was down. It'll be first down, UCF, the 32-yard line.
I don't disagree. I think there is one good freeze frame in there where you can see the ball is secure, knee is down, and a split second later, Rice Plumlee takes a big-time hit. Those are some of those hits coming off an injury.
Yeah.
He's going to want to try to avoid, but I get it. Hey, you got to lay it all out on the line. You're playing for first place, trying to get to a New Year's Six bowl game.
So first down now from the 32. Isaiah Bowser gets the call, and Toadstools inside the 30. Patrick Jenkins, Agent Zero, made the tackle for Tulane. Bowser's a big boy, 6'1", 220. 11 rushing touchdowns this season, tops in the American. A captain and a transfer from Northwestern. A lot of Power 5 transfers littered across this UCF roster. Plumlee keeps and slides down. Lummy Young came flying in. It'll set up a third down and short. 139 rushing yards for the UCF quarterback, and there's still 4.5 to go in this first quarter. On third down, Plumlee keeps again. Keeps his balance and stumbles just far enough to pick up the first down.
I'll tell you what, this kid's an athlete. He can do it all with his legs. Devin Deal for Tulane defensive end. He's there to make the play. He's there to make it for a no gain or a loss. John Rice Plumlee, so athletic, so quick, so fast, can get around that edge and get positive yards.
Tulane only gives up 127 rush yards per game. They've given up 160 in the first quarter. Richardson snakes around the edge and tripped up. That's Macon Clark. Big tackle in space. That's the challenge for any team that plays the Knights. You have to tackle in space, and these guys are fast.
Well, how do you tackle in space? You have to take great angles, and you have to populate the ball, meaning all 11 of the guys on defense, they need to chase the ball. They need to work as hard as they can until the whistle's blown to get there to populate and get the ball carrier on the ground.
14th play of the drive, back shoulder. And it's Baker who hauls it in. 1st and goal, UCF. And the Knights are having their way with this Tulane defense, which is tops in the conference.
I'll tell you what, we got a nice little battle between Baker and Monroe going early in this football game. Going to be a lot of fun to watch. These guys are going at each other right now.
Plumlee keeping. Lunges, and he's going to be short.
I mean, you can see early why it's so difficult to stop this UCF offense. They can throw the ball. They can hit you with the speed sweep. They can go downhill with Bowser or with Harvey. Plumlee might keep the football. They can do it all. It feels like you're trying to cover 25 guys out there.
And then on top of that, with the eye candy and window dressing, they give you all this pre-snap Amsterdam. Plumlee to the end zone, batted, and incomplete, almost picked by Macon Clark. UCF caught a break.
Great play design there to get the tight end wide open at the front pylon, Zach Marsh-Wohan. But I will say this, excuse me, that was trying to get to Alec Haller. If that play was designed to go to the field where John Rice Plumlee had more room to work with, he probably could have got that football up and over the defender to complete it for a touchdown pass. He was just working in such a small area. Very difficult to get that ball up and down.
O'Keefe in motion. And a timeout.
Timeout. UCF.
By Gus Malzahn before the play. We'll step aside. We'll catch our breaths. This is moving at a photon fast pace. 10-7, late first. UCF, they have macheted this Tulane run defense in this opening quarter. 166 rush yards, 142 by the quarterback, and 3rd down and goal from the 2. The way this offense is operating right now, Brock, they probably have 2 plays. What do you expect?
Yeah, I definitely expect this to be 4-down territory. What I do expect out of Tulane is to bring pressure here and try to make whatever UCF wants to do, make them make a very quick decision.
Plumlee out of the game. Bowser from the Wildcat waltzes into the end zone for a touchdown. The 12th rushing touchdown of the season for Isaiah Bowser. And UCF has scored on all 3 of its possessions. Big replay overturn on this drive. And they're a PAT away from making it 17-7.
Anish, that's a puzzling one for me. Tulane playing man-to-man defense. It seemed like nobody had eyes on Isaiah Bowser there. Maybe who was ever in coverage on Bowser was expecting him to run down the middle. Nevertheless, Tulane has given up a couple big plays in the run game due to man-to-man coverage, not having eyes in the backfield. Look to see Tulane get out of their man coverage and play a little bit more zone as this game moves along.
$17-7, UCF, and Ishroff standing up. Brock Osweiler, of course, sitting down. Taylor McGregor is on the sideline. Catch your breath, right? I mean, this has been wild this first quarter.
Yeah, it's been a track meet. I'm exhausted. It feels like there's a play getting snapped every 7-8 seconds. Need some oxygen up here, need to catch your breath. But I'll say this, if you like explosive offense, this is the game for you because both teams are making big-time plays early.
And John Rice Plumlee back after missing last week's game against Memphis. He's been running wild in New Orleans.
Yeah, he's been unstoppable. He's made some tremendous throws in the pass game with great accuracy, but where he's really hurt Tulane's great defense is with his legs. He's already rushed for 142 yards. The guy's a speedster. We all know he has wheels, but Tulane has not kept eyes on him. They've not been disciplined in their rush lanes. Plumlee's gotten loose a couple times early. Look for Tulane's defense to make some adjustments.
Kick out of bounds. Tulane ball at the 35-yard line.
Kick out of bounds.
Tulane a season ago was just 2 and 10. Players told me they were embarrassed and ready to get back to work immediately when the season ended. But they felt like their schedule was, or they were much better than their record showed. And so at the end of the year, all of them put 2 and 10 as the background of their phone to remind them what happens when you do not do the little things well. So that was the focus of them this offseason. All the little things add up to the big things, and here they are with a chance to compete for an American title, guys.
From 2 and 10 to 8 and 1 and 5 and 0 in conference play. Michael Pratt takes a big hit, arm impacted, and it lands incomplete with Cam Moore chasing after it. Ricky Barber got to the quarterback. Pratt, third offensive coordinator in 3 seasons at Tulane. But these last 4 games, he has played the best ball of his college career, running it, throwing it, taking care of the football.
Pratt's a very confident quarterback, and I think one of the things that's led to so much success lately is he knows how to extend plays outside the pocket while keeping his eyes down the field.
This is Clayton, the ball is out. UCF has it, and they take it inside the 10-yard line. K.D. McDaniel, the Kentucky transfer. Flags are down. It appears to be on Tulane, and the Knights in business to strike again.
Result of the play is a fumble recovered by the defense. Personal foul, face mask, offense, number 7. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down, UCF.
And that is the classic thing that you see multiple times a week, whether it's college football, high school football, Pop Warner football. It's the zone read scheme, outside zone, trying to get the speed sweep going. And right there, Michael Pratt needs to make a decision. Am I giving it to Shady Clayton Johnson, or am I keeping it? He kind of got that ball into middle ground. Clayton Johnson didn't know, hey, are you giving it to me or are you not? I don't think Pratt was very decisive with his decision, and that's what you have to do in those type of schemes.
And honestly, that face mask penalty may have saved a touchdown. That was Michael Pratt trying to tackle a defensive lineman.
Smart play by Pratt. As a quarterback, you do whatever it takes to get the big guy down and not give up the touchdown.
Wildcat again, a Malzahn specialty. Bowser. He's not going anywhere. That's Nick Anderson, the 2 linebackers for Tulane. Anderson and Dorian Williams, both in the top 10 in the conference in tackles. And they are the heartbeat and the soul of this Green Wave defense.
Yeah, don't kid yourself. Nick Anderson, Dorian Williams, both of them will be playing on Sundays. 2 tremendous football players. You can see Nick Anderson just scraping over the top, shooting the gap, making a tremendous tackle in the backfield. And don't kid yourself, Isaiah Bowser, that's a big boy. Great tackle there by Nick Anderson.
O'Keefe goes in motion. Plumlee fakes the toss, finds a seam, and he gets to the 2. Third down and goal coming up.
Talk about a physical football game. You can tell both these teams want to win. John Rice Plumlee definitely not playing like he had a concussion 2 weeks ago. He wants this ball game.
Up the middle. And down to the 1. 4th down. And it looks like they're going to go for it. Why not? Right now, UCF is pressing downhill. They've got all the momentum. You need a yard.
If I'm Gus Malzahn, I'm getting Rice Plumlee out of the pocket to where he can either use his legs, tuck the football and run, or throw the football into the end zone.
Bowser is the running back. O'Keefe motions. Plumlee rolling right. It's knocked down. Nick Anderson. 2 huge plays. A goal line stand by Tulane after the turnover. And a reprieve for the Green Wave.
Nick Anderson, a name you are going to hear all day long. Great linebacker. We were just talking about him a couple plays ago, making a big-time tackle. He understood that his football IQ is off the charts. He knew if he attacked Plumlee, Plumlee would be able to get that ball up and over him. So Nick Anderson stops and knows he can jump up and knock it down. Heads-up football play by Nick Anderson.
You talk about that football IQ. That plays in the classroom, too. 3rd in his graduating class in high school. One of the best student athletes on this campus. Pratt from the gun in his own end zone. Quick throw. Deuce Watts out of bounds near the 10-yard line. Some breathing room for Tulane.
I love the play call because as a defensive back, you're not going to give up a 99-yard touchdown. You know that DB is going to bail out of there, so why not throw a quick hitch and get your team off the goal line? Great play call there by Tulane.
Spears sweeping to the edge, cuts it back, and he's brought down across the 40. A gain of 30. Tajay Spears north of 100 yards, and what a punctuation mark on this opening quarter.
I mean, are you kidding me? The speed that is on the field right now. Jarvis Ware, defensive back for UCF. He has the angle. He's going to make a play. But Spears, he hits the after boosters, and he's gone. Don't give that man space.
You're watching the American Conference on ESPN. One of the most anticipated home games in recent memory for Tulane. First time since 1949, Tulane hosting a ranked matchup on its home field. And we begin the second quarter. Michael Pratt throws. That's caught. Celestine absorbs the hit and picks up a couple of yards. Let's check in with Taylor McGregor.
Celestine getting inspiration from his teammate Tajay Spears, who is coming off 2 ACL surgeries, one in high school and one in college. He's 2 years removed, but he told me he did not feel like himself again till just a couple weeks ago. And he said the coolest part is you just love college football more when it was taken away from you, and he's certainly showcasing his skills now.
Now here's Spears again, and pinballs his way close to midfield. It sets up third down from the 48 of Tulane. Yeah, Taylor, he thought about quitting football at one point. Dad convinced him to keep going, started to find his stride at the end of last year, and he's become one of the best backs in the AAC this year.
I think one of the best things about a player like Tajay Spears, nothing jumps off, right? He's 5'11", 195, but you can never judge a man's heart or determination, and he obviously has a ton of it.
Where's the meme of the X-ray with the dogs? That's Clayton. Stopped for a loss back at the 45-yard line. Brandon Adams, the corner, making the play. Sophomore out of Atlanta, fourth down. And Glover and the punt team getting ready to come on for Tulane.
What a tremendous play by cornerback Brandon Adams there. Just recognizing what Tulane was trying to do, trying to get a little swing pass, a quick play out there in space to their playmakers. From the corner position, he just shot it and blew the play up before it could ever get started.
UCF has some size with Adams and Brown at corner, 6'3" and 6'2". Townsend with the fair catch at about the 15-yard line, a 39-yard kick. UCF has scored on 3 of its first 4 possessions. They've got a 10-point lead. John Rice Plumlee back out there when we come back. John Rice Plumlee, 145 yards on the ground. UCF on for another series. They'll begin at the 15-yard line. And for Tulane, Brock, they've got to figure out a way to stop quarterback run.
Yeah, I think it's simple for Tulane. One of their main coverages that they've had the most success in this year is a 3-buzz defense. Think the old Seattle Seahawks when they were competing for Super Bowls. It's a zone defense. You keep everything in front of you and eyes in the backfield at all times.
Or you run it to Harvey and you pick up 14. Taylor?
Keep our eyes disciplined. That is the message down here to Tulane's defense. They knew coming into this game that UCF loves to trick you pre-snap with a lot of the motions, and so the message again is keep our eyes disciplined.
Zone read, it's a give, it's Harvey. And he's out to the 33-yard line. Give him 4 on the play. Darius Hodges the stop. What makes eye discipline so hard, though, against a team like UCF?
It's the eye candy and it's the amount of weapons they have. So the eye candy, you're getting motions pre-snap to the right, to the left. And then UCF, they have so many weapons. When you look at their receivers, their quarterback, and their running backs, any one of them can beat you. Shoot, UCF, they have a 3-headed rushing monster with 3 guys with over 500 yards on the team.
Yeah, and Plumlee right now has been the bell cow of the run game today. UCF has 3 of the top 8 rushers in the conference.
Yeah, what they do with their rushing attack, Gus Malzahn, it is extremely impressive. Arguably the best in the country, and Gus has been doing it at a very high level for a long time.
This is Harvey. Zigzags to the 47-yard line, a pickup of 4. Harvey, 5th in the league. Plumlee, 6th. Bowser, 8th. Now you throw in Tajay Spears for Tulane. We're seeing 4 of the top 8 rushers in the league in one game.
Yeah, and then also don't forget, all 3 of those guys are Power 5 transfers to UCF. So they're used to big-time football. They're great athletes. They know how to compete.
This is Harvey looking to bounce it to the outside, and he's going to be a yard shy of the marker, 3rd and 1.
So you can see Harvey's skill set on that last play. It looks so just kind of effortless and like it wasn't a big deal. But Lance Robinson's there to make a tackle. Harvey puts his foot in the ground and he gets 3 more yards. And that's why they're so special. You're there to make the play. Well, guess what? You're not going to make the play against these guys.
They love Harvey's vision and lateral quickness. Plumlee throws and completes. That's Baker for a first down at the 41 of Tulane. And for Javon Baker, his 4th catch. That's a matchup they seem to like.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, let's sell out to the box. Let's try to stop the run. Well, great. UCF says perfect. We're going to throw it to our receiver that transferred in from Alabama on a one-on-one matchup outside. So that's why UCF's offense, in a nutshell, is so dangerous. They can beat you in the run with 3 different guys, and then they can beat you with the pass with one-on-one matchups outside.
Plumlee right side, and he beats Deal to the corner, picks up a couple. You've got Baker, who's an Alabama transfer, and he was recruited to UCF by Kobe Hudson, an Auburn transfer. Those 2 grew up together. They've known each other since 8th grade, and Hudson practically begged Baker to come join him.
Yeah, because he's like, hey, we got a quarterback that transferred in from Ole Miss that wants to throw you the football. It's wild when you look at the transfers on this UCF team.
And now it's Johnny Richardson, 5'7", 170, lightning in a shot glass. He's got incredible speed. They've always had a guy like Richardson, whether it was Adrian Killins, Otis Anderson.
This is a critical down for Tulane. Already down 10 points in this ball game. It really feels like UCF has really held the momentum. You can regain that momentum back at home with a big-time stop right here.
Harvey breaks the tackle, and Cyclones inside the 25. A first down, a pickup of 8. And Brock, what point do you start worrying about Tulane's defense being out there too long? I'm looking at time of possession. 15+ minutes for UCF, 5.5 for Tulane.
Yeah, this is going to be very difficult for Tulane to sustain if this is how the game continues. Willie Fritz, though, great football coach for Tulane. He's platooning his defense in, trying to keep guys as fresh as possible.
Harvey again. And UCF now in a red zone. And if there's one knock on this night's offense, you brought it up early. At times, they've been a little deficient once they get inside the 20.
That's it. In their last 15 trips into the red zone this season, they've only walked away with touchdowns 6 times. If you're going to beat a top 25 opponent on the road, you got to stop kicking field goals. You got to find a way to get touchdowns.
1 for 3 in terms of red zone touchdowns today. Richardson torpedoes for a first down. He's to the 17. And this run game right now has totaled 230 yards in the first half. Tulane, coming into today, had given up a season high of 200.
Well, you want to talk about keeping guys fresh. Hey, do you want to hand the ball off to Bowser, Richardson, Harvey, Richards? You got 4 running backs you've already handed the ball to, so these guys are coming in fresh as can be every time they're touching the football.
This is Harvey, and he makes his way inside the 10. Did you mention Plumlee in that?
And I didn't. So there's the 5th. So that's really it. I mean, Tulane, if you're down there on the field, you almost got to feel like your head's just spinning. Hey, which guy do we need to be looking at? Who do we need to be, paying extra attention to? And that's the thing. You can't just hone in on one guy with this UCF offense. They have weapons at every single one of the skill positions.
Sun's starting to peek out, and UCF driving straight into the sun. Plumlee throws. Baker on the slant. Touchdown Knights. What was the old line?
Wow.
Our arrows will block out the sun, then we'll fight in the shade. UCF will fight in the sun, fight in the shade. It doesn't matter. It is 23-7, and this offense has been a juggernaut so far. 311 yards of total offense, and there's still 7 minutes plus to go in the first half.
I tell you what, a quarterback's best friend is a great run game. Why? Because you get one-on-one matchups to the outside, and that's exactly here what Rice Plumlee takes advantage of. Javon Baker winning the one-on-one matchup off the play action. And I can't stress how big of a drive that was by UCF. Tulane, a top 15 defense in the nation. UCF driving down the field, making it look easy. Plumlee finding Baker for the touchdown.
ESPN College Football, presented by Sonos, is brought to you by USAA. This Veterans Day, join us in celebrating all those who serve.
We salute all of our veterans serving home and abroad. We thank you. Veterans Weekend, Veterans Day was yesterday, and can't thank our men and women who serve this great country enough. It has been all UCF so far, 24-7 here in New Orleans, as we say hello to Kevin Connors.
Anish, all Michigan so far today. Time for our AT&T countdown to the CFP National Championship. J.J. McCarthy and the Wolverines have those aspirations.
Yeah, when that play action pass happens, when you got a back like Blake Corum, who's in the Heisman conversation, it leaves receivers wide open.
Corum has a touchdown run. Anish, it's 14-0 Michigan.
All right, thank you, Kevin. If Michigan beats Illinois next week, we could be looking at Iowa in the driver's seat in the Big Ten West. Deuce Watts, tunnel screen, and turbos to the 34. Flag at the end of the play. It's against Tulane.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that call. Seems like the hands, as long as the receiver's hands are inside and not around the defensive back, you can grab a guy's chest as long as your hands don't leave outside. I don't know. To me, I think that's just a big-time block by a receiver throwing a defensive back down on the ground. I think that's a poor call by the officials.
Pratt's got time. He checks down to Jaquan Jackson. Forced out of bounds across the 25. Picked up 6 on the play. There's no go-to wideout per se for Tulane. It's a gestalt approach. They've got 6 receivers with 20 or more receptions. You throw in Tajay Spears, who's got 17 himself.
Yeah, it's really pass production by committee with this Tulane football team. I would love to see them try to get their tight end, Tyreek James, involved. He's kind of a mismatch. He's that hybrid. Is he a receiver? Is he a tight end? He gets favorable matchups with linebackers and safeties.
Pratt maneuvering the pocket, has to throw it away. 3rd down. Pressure coming from Ricky Barber. Taylor?
When I asked Michael Pratt about the success as of late for this Tulane offense, he said it's all about balance. We have run-pass balance, and we have balance amongst our receivers. And Brock, when you're in his position and you have that balance, what does it create for the defense when it comes to challenges?
Having balance on your offense is the greatest thing, because what it really does is it slows down a defensive pass rush. They don't know if they need to play the run, they need to play the pass, play action, etc. So it makes your job as a quarterback a little more comforting.
Another tunnel screen. Jackson has some room near side. 1st down. He's got midfield and forced out of bounds in UCF territory by Corey Thornton. I was about to say, Brock, when you're down, sometimes you can get away from balance, but those screen passes are an extension of the run game.
Oh, certainly, and you know what they really are? They're breather plays for your quarterback. You don't need to read downfield. You don't need to work through progressions. You're just getting the ball, putting an accurate throw out there, and letting your playmaker in space do the tough stuff.
Pratt goes back to Watts, his 4th catch. Picks up 4. Adams the stop, 2nd down and 6.
I think the biggest thing for Tulane right now, don't panic. Don't press. There's still 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. I know you're down a couple scores, but there is a ton of football to play. And just take a deep breath. Your full call sheet is still available to you. Stick to the run. Stick to the run. Mix in play action and screens. And remember, you get the ball to start the third quarter. No panic.
Another slant, and that's through the hands of Wyatt. And we get a flag. Oh, the referee's mic is not working, but the penalty, as you saw, against UCF, automatic first down for Tulane.
Anytime a defensive back gets his hands on the receiver early and turns him at all, you can kind of see that outside hand on his hip, maybe a little ticky-tacky, but the ref is just looking where the defensive back's hands are located. He probably looked, he saw him on the receiver, turning him just a hair. That's enough to throw the flag.
And Nikai Martinez, freshman from Apopka, Florida. Pistol look with Clayton behind Pratt. Handoff Clayton. And ankle tackled after a pickup of 3 by Kobe Perry. Perry's a 5th-year player out of Austin P, where he was a former FCS All-American. And he and Jarvis Ware starting at safety today with the injuries to Quadric Bullard and Devad Wilson.
There's Tyreek James, tight end going in motion. Would love to see him get involved.
Safety blitz. Pratt throws downfield, open receiver, and it's dropped by Wyatt. Shea Wyatt was wide open. Could the throw been a little better? Sure. That's a catch he's got to make.
Certainly he's got to make. Yes. Could the ball have been better? Yes. Could it have been a tighter spiral? Sure. But nothing about football is perfect. At the end of the day, Michael Pratt found a way to get that football to you. It is your job as a receiver to bring that ball in regardless of how it's delivered to you.
Yeah, there have been a number of drops. These receivers have not helped Pratt today. That's 3. It's 3rd down. Will Wallace, the tight end, split wide to the near side. Here's the blitz. Pratt stands in, lets it go, incomplete for Watts, and a flag. Adams was in coverage. He's got his hands out as if to say, really?
Wow. You know, I'm going to go back a couple plays ago. I'm going to say that was not pass interference. And then that last play was certainly not pass interference on Brandon Adams. That was a slight bump. Ball's not really catchable. At the end of the day, the defensive back has just as much right to the football as the receiver. He gets his head around late. To me, that's a clean no call.
Instead, it's a first down for Tulane.
In fact, that's textbook defensive back play, just squeezing the receiver to the sideline.
Clayton is swarmed in the backfield for a loss. Ricky Barber blew it up. Western Kentucky transfer, where he was a freshman All-American 2 seasons ago.
Boy, that UCF sideline is hot right now, and I get why. I mean, that's 2 calls that have totally changed this drive. You had about 4 or 5 coaches there running off of the sideline. You saw the strength staff trying to pull them all back on before they got a penalty.
Spears motions out. Pratt is hit. The ball is out. And Wallace able to dive on it and cover it up for Tulane. Jason Johnson the second leading tackler in the American Conference, forced the fumble.
Anish, you know what that call was? That was defensive coordinator Travis Williams. He was hot. He was upset about those penalties. So he said, you know what? I'm going to bring the house. I'm going to blitz. He mugged linebackers up in there, confused the offensive line, which generated a free pass rusher to hit Michael Pratt.
It's 3rd and 13 from the 20, and
that was one of those calls when a defense coordinator says, hey, listen, you're going to throw these flags? All right, well, I'm going to try to stop this drive. I got to play for that. You point down to your all-out blitz, and you bring the heat.
we have an officials timeout, so I wonder, would they look at this to see if it was a pass? And that's a fumble. We'll step aside. 3:24 to go, first half. Well, the officials are done with the review, so we'll get the official word. Incomplete or a fumble. Looked to be a fumble. All right, so if you can lip read, ruling confirmed, fumble. Still Tulane ball. They have it at the 32-yard line now, 3rd and 25. Four-man rush. Check down, it's James. And the tight end, Tyreek James, who also doubles as the team barber, takes it to the 26-yard line.
Great decision by Michael Pratt there not to force the ball down the field with UCF dropping to the sticks. Take the guaranteed completion and get your team into field goal range. Great decision by Michael Pratt.
So Valentino Ambrosio, who took over as the starting place kicker 5 games ago, will try a 39-yard field goal. He's 5 for 6. A Rutgers transfer who began his career as a soccer player at Fairleigh Dickinson University. His kick is up, and he missed it. There's a flag down. Ambrosio had struggled during pregame warm-ups kicking in this direction.
Yeah, he was kicking dead into the wind right there. How about that?
Roughing the kicker, which means it's an automatic first down.
Automatic first, 15 yards.
And this now has a chance to be a 7-point swing if Tulane can get into the end zone.
That's just undisciplined football there. It's not necessary. You're not in position to block the football. Stay away from the kicker. You don't give up points. Ball's back in your hand, and you can go put the nail in the coffin before halftime.
Pratt has a running lane and takes it inside the 10. Taylor?
Tajay Spears, who has been a huge playmaker for this Tulane offense all day, has been in and out of the tent. They were taping up that right knee, which is the same one that he had ACL surgery. Here he comes right now, but pay attention to what he's able to do and if he comes in and out, guys.
Yeah, you can see he's got a little bit of a limp. Split backs. Up the middle, Clayton. Now they signal touchdown.
What a tremendous job of taking advantage of the new life you were given by UCF, roughing the kicker, get a new set of downs. Way to fight, way to get that ball into the end zone. Oh, nope. He's just going to be a hair short, but nevertheless, way to knock on the door and take advantage of the opportunity you were given.
You're looking at the ball. Where is the ball when he's down? When either that elbow or that knee goes down?
I'm going to need more replays, but on first look, it looked like the ball was on about the half-yard line when that knee first hit the ground. I think it's going to be first and goal from the inch line for Tulane.
Does any part of the ball cross? It's not the player's body, it's the ball. Knees down, ball has not crossed, so they'll have about a half-yard to go.
Just think about the big picture here, right? UCF, they were up 24-7. You're about to get the ball back. Plenty of time to go possibly get more points on the board before halftime. Instead, you have an undisciplined play. You run into the kicker when you don't need to. So Tulane takes advantage of that opportunity, and now they're knocking on the door to get a touchdown. And then they receive the opening kickoff in the third quarter.
Essentially, let's say that scenario plays out. If there was no roughing the kicker penalty and UCF takes it and scores, that might be ball game right there. Instead, if Tulane scores, gets a stop, does something on their first drive now, boy, you're right back in the game. Even though there's a lot of Knights fans here at Yulman Stadium, it energizes the home crowd, and all of a sudden you feel, after a disastrous opening 30 minutes, if you're Tulane, you're now back to almost even.
Certainly, and that's why earlier in the drive we said for Tulane, stay patient. There's a lot of ball game to be played. And on UCF, yes, we know you're extremely talented. You have a top 10 rushing attack in the country, a top 15 offense in the country. But it's the undisciplined things that will ultimately hurt you if you're trying to be a great team at the end of the season.
Ball will be at the half-yard line, correctly overturned. First place in the American Conference on the line. UCF has a win against Cincinnati, 4-1 in conference. Tulane, 5-0 in league play. Green Wave close with SMU and Cincy. No divisions in the league this year, so the top two will play in the conference championship game. And a new life for Tulane after the roughing the kicker penalty extended the drive, and it was on a missed field goal nonetheless. First and goal, ball on the half-yard line after that last run by Clayton. Pratt, quarterback sneak, gets the push from behind, and he appears to have a touchdown. Touchdown Tulane, 1:15 to go, first half, now 24-13. UCF has a timeout.
I love that play call. You know, we talked about earlier in the broadcast, this game's going to come down to the trenches. Who wants first place in the American? It's offensive line versus defensive line. Tulane didn't even try to hide the quarterback sneak. They lined up the running backs at shallow depth. Everyone in the house knew it was going to be a QB sneak. Attitude play. Tulane 1, UCF defensive line 0.
10-point game now here in New Orleans. Will step aside. The pendulum swung back to the Green Wave a little on that last drive. 24-14, Knights still on top. UFC 281 tonight at Madison Square Garden. It is an absolutely stacked card. 2 title fights. Israel Adesanya and Carla Esparza defend their belts. Plus, Dustin Poirier takes on Michael Chandler. Main card at 10 Eastern on pay-per-view. Prelims start at 8 over on ESPN News. 1:15 to go, second quarter. Tulane to kick off after the Michael Pratt touchdown run. O'Keefe from the 11. And tripped up shy of the 20-yard line. Well, we get a studio update with Kevin Connors.
And Anish, coming up on the Geico Halftime Report, we will check in on the Michigan Wolverines in the elements against Nebraska here with an eye on Blake Corum and his Heisman Trophy candidacy. Plus, how do we talk Michigan without talking about The Ohio State University? Kind of a good news, bad news day for the Buckeyes. And Nick Saban and Alabama in danger of losing 2 in a row. Not looking great right now, Anish. That's coming up when you join me and Sam Acho at the half.
Rat poison as Harvey can't handle the pass. 2nd down and 10. Now this is a big drive here for UCF. Tulane seized some of the momentum. You've got a timeout. 105 is plenty of time for this offense.
It's certainly enough time, but on the flip side for Tulane, that was the best thing that could happen to you. You still have 3 timeouts left, and you just forced a 2nd and 10, and the clock's not running.
Plumlee 8 of 17 passing. Anderson the blitz. Harvey in the flat. Shakes, bakes, and takes it across the 35. Larry Brooks took him down. A gain of 16. That'll momentarily stop the clock. And Brooks slow to get up.
I get it for defensive coordinator Chris Hampton. You're trying to force John Rice Plumlee to make quick decisions.
Now this is coming back. There's a flag at the 20. It's going to be a hold.
Holding.
Hey, turn the mic on.
Number 71. 10-yard penalty. It's 2nd down. As the offended team, Tulane has elected for the clock to start on the snap.
So every once in a while in football, Christmas comes early, and for Tulane, Christmas came early there. Rather than an explosive play, you're going to get a holding call out there on the screenplay. It was a perfect play call for UCF because Tulane brought an all-out blitz with both their linebackers, really putting that Tulane secondary in a tough position. Once again, that's kind of a questionable holding call. I mean, you have an offensive lineman on a defensive back. I don't know what else you want the guy to do.
Not much for Plumlee. Tulane uses its first timeout.
Tulane.
It's 3rd down and long. 53 seconds to go. A chance here for Tulane maybe to work with a short field. Referee Nate Black has his microphone working. Sometimes you just got to turn it on. Sunday NFL Countdown comes your way at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. Michelle Beisner-Buck goes all access with that Cowboys exclusive number 88. Plus, Stephon Diggs facing his former team. Bills and Vikings play this week. And remember, Monday Night Football, Eagles and the Commanders. Phillies 8-0. They sacked Washington 9 times in the first game. That was former Eagle Carson Wentz starting that game. Taylor Heineke will get the start on Monday night.
I'll tell you what, this Tulane football team and sideline, they're juiced up right now. Really feel the momentum shifting.
Pressure from the backside, incomplete. Intended for O'Keefe. Devin Deal coming around the tackle and nearly got to Plumlee. It's an incomplete pass. 4th down. UCF will have to punt. Tulane's got 2 timeouts. 48 seconds to go. There might be time for one more scoring opportunity for the Green Wave.
Yeah, there's certainly time for points. You're going to see Devin Deal just outworking right there. Tylen Grable getting the edge, getting a hit on the quarterback. Quarterback just trying to hit a crossing route and get the ball out of his hand, get some yards.
A short punt by McCarthy. I think it hit a Green Wave player. It did. UCF recovers. It was a short kick. It hits a Tulane player in the back. It was Harrison, and UCF able to recover it. You can't advance a muff punt. That's still a muff punt. And so now the Knights have the ball in Tulane territory with 38 seconds to go. They still have 1 timeout. And remember, last week they attempted a 64-yard field goal, so they think Colton Boomer has a strong leg, and he would be kicking, though, into the wind in this case.
I'll tell you what, this game's got every twist and turn. Right there, the punt returner needs to wave everyone off. He needs to call Peter, and get everyone away from that football.
Plumlee hit by Anderson.
I think that was a backwards pass.
And that's a backwards pass. So There was anybody there. Yeah, it is a backwards pass, so that goes as a fumble. And I guess they say there was a man in the area.
Thank you.
Now it's a backward pass, so it is a fumble, so can't be grounding. Second down, 31 seconds to go. Now back in UCF territory. Plumlee against a four-man twist. Running right side, throws it away. It'll bring up third down. Plumlee only 9 of 20 passing, but he has been lethal with his feet. 14 rushes for 152 yards and a score.
Tulane playing a very soft 3-deep zone. Not allowing anything over their heads, playing smart defense right here at the end of the half.
A little bit of everything in this opening half. Plumlee stands in the pocket. Now throws near side. O'Keefe just takes it out of bounds. A gain of 9. It sets up fourth down. 18 seconds to go. The ball on the Tulane 45. Again, the Green Wave will get the ball to begin the third quarter, and let's see what Gus Malzahn decides to do.
I think in this situation with 18 seconds left, me personally, I'm punting the football. I'm not even going to give Tulane a chance to get a stop here, possibly throw a Hail Mary or even get into field goal range. I think this is one where you just want to punt it deep, pin Tulane back, and go on to halftime.
And a timeout by Tulane. So Willie Fritz will go over all the variables.
30-second timeout.
Fritz, the second winningest coach in the history of Tulane football. Only Clark Shaughnessy has more wins. Now, what's interesting about this matchup today, it's not just two ranked teams and the resurgence of Tulane from a 2-10 season last year, but for Tulane to take that next stop in this conference. UCF has been the bellwether in the American. They've got the 4 league titles since this conference was formed. They've been to New Year's 6 bowl games. Tulane is trying to get to where UCF is, and for UCF, hey, they're looking for one more before they head to the Big 12.
To be the best, you need to beat the best. Tulane, like you just said, they have UCF today to finish off their season. They have SMU and Cincinnati. They are seeing the top schools in the American the last 3 weeks of the season.
Fourth down. They'll go for it. Plumlee throws on the run.
Incomplete.
And it's incomplete for O'Keefe. So 11 seconds. Tulane's got 1 timeout left. They've got it at the 45-yard line. You've got a chance to give Ambrosio a shot here if you can get some yards on this play.
Yeah, certainly. We used to call this a town situation. You really have the entire field at your disposal because you do have the timeout. So town, meaning timeout to win. Well, obviously we're not in the fourth quarter, we're in the second quarter, but Tulane, they can throw to the middle of the field quickly if they want to, fall down, bang that timeout, and you have a chance for a field goal or another shot at the end zone. The entire field is open for Tulane right now.
4 wide receivers.
UCF showing pressure. I highly doubt they bring it.
They drop 7. Pratt under pressure. Clock running down. Pratt will run and scampers out of bounds. 3 seconds to go. He picks up 10. It moves the chains, but still no chance here for a field goal. So now you're looking at a Hail Mary from the 44-yard line.
That's exactly what it's going to be. The good thing for Tulane, Michael Pratt, one of the best attributes that he has is extending plays outside the pocket. Look for him to scramble around, buy some time, give his guys a chance. Now he's throwing into the wind now, but from 45 yards out, I would imagine Michael Pratt can get it there, even though he's throwing dead into the wind.
Tulane uses its final timeout, or rather UCF does. What do you go over with your defensive backs in a situation like this, Brock?
You know, it's just simply reminding them about the Hail Mary situation, where you want them to line up, and if the ball's in the air, don't try to intercept it, knock it down. Now, I know it takes discipline. Everyone wants that interception on the stat sheet if they can get it, but knock it down. Do not give Tulane a chance to get their hands on this football.
We look at the Taco Bell Live Ma student section. Student sections across the country competing to be the Live Ma student section of the year all season long. They're dressed for Bourbon Street tonight. A couple of them are.
I like what UCF's doing. They're kind of pressing these receivers right now. They're taking away the chance that Tulane tries to do a middle screen and run the ball in behind blockers.
Last play of the half. Pratt is going to go down. Tremont Morris brashed the sack, and that brings to an end a wild and tumultuous 30 minutes. A lot of momentum shifts. UCF started fast. The Knights with 318 yards in the first half, 225 in the first quarter. Tulane has made a game of this, and the Green Wave will receive the third quarter kick. To Bristol and the studio now with Kevin Connors and Sam Acho.
Anish, as always, you said it well. A first half that had just about every.
You're watching Veterans Week coverage on ESPN, brought to you by USAA.
Welcome to ESPN College Football, presented by Sonos, a part of Veterans Week on ESPN, brought to you by USAA. Halftime score at Yulman Stadium, UCF leading Tulane 24-14. First place in the American Conference on the line. Tulane hosting a ranked matchup at home for the first time in 73 years. Anish Shroff, Brock Osweiler. We'll get a report from Taylor McGregor in just a moment. UCF, the visitor. Boy, did they start fast. Up 24-7. The quarterback run game was everything.
Yeah, it really was. And we kind of knew it was going to be. When you talked to the Tulane coaching staff and Willie Fritz this week, he said, listen, UCF is the fastest team that we faced all year. Well, we saw it in the first half. Rice Plumlee, he came out with explosive play after explosive play. He's well over 100 yards. In fact, he's at 159 already rushing for the football game. He's caught Tulane in man-to-man defense a couple times on these explosive runs. On the flip side, Tulane, they're staying in the fight. They're down 10, and it's really been because of Tyjae Spears and a couple explosive runs. Spears has 114 yards already on the day through the first half, and then you see Michael Pratt coming back with a strike in that first quarter. A great fade ball to Deuce Watts. Deuce Watts did a tremendous job of catching that ball, securing it, turning it away from the defender.
Tulane will receive the third quarter kickoff. UCF totaled 300-plus yards of offense in that first half, 230 on the ground. And a squibber. Someone's going to have to pick that up. And Tulane able to cover it up. Taylor McGregor caught up with Willie Fritz moments ago.
Thanks, Anish. Coach, what adjustments need to be made to better account for their quarterback's legs?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. We got to do a better job with him running the football. He's faster than we even imagined. He's doing a good job of pulling and outflanking us with our defensive end. Sometimes the linebackers, so we just got to do a much better job on quarterback run.
What more would you like to see offensively?
Well, I think we need to get back to the running game a little bit. We've had some success and kind of got away from it a little bit.
Appreciate your time. Anish?
They begin the third quarter on the ground to Tyjae Spears. He picks up 6. He's got 120 yards, but only 6 carries so far. Taylor?
This is a championship-like game. We have to clean up the penalties. That is what Gus Malzahn told me at half. They've had 7 penalties for 59 yards. He loves what his quarterback is doing with his legs, but he would like to see them connect on a pass. He said we need to be more balanced in the second half offensively.
Meanwhile, Tulane seems to want to get the ball to 22, and why not? Spears on the ground, Spears through the air, and a first down at midfield.
For Tulane, if you're going to stay in this fight offensively, you have to feed Spears, and you also have to get tight end Tyreek James involved. He's had great production this season. He's a mismatch for linebackers and safeties.
Pratt over the middle, low throw, incomplete for D.D. McDougal. 2nd down and 10. Pratt missed that one. His receivers today, though, they've dropped 3. And that was one, I'm not saying that was a perfect throw. Is that one, Brock, that McDougal's got to catch?
You're being too
yeah,
kind there.
I'm asking a quarterback, too.
That's the one where the quarterback needs to pat the chest and say, hey, that's my bad. That's a ball, especially when you're throwing with the wind. That needed to be a completion.
Pratt now goes wide. Wildcat look. It's Clayton. He'll keep. And nowhere to go. 3rd and long.
You know, this is a situation for Tulane. If you can pick up about half the yards and get it into 4th and manageable, 4th and 4, 4th and 5, 4th and 6, this is definitely going to be one that you consider going for, considering you have the wind at your back right now.
Pratt launches downfield, underthrown in the direction of Jackson.
Back-to-back throws by Pratt, just too inaccurate, not giving his receivers a chance to make a play on the ball. 2 throws when he watches the film tomorrow at the facility. He's definitely going to wish he had back. Like I've said, he's got the wind at his back, and there's no excuse for those balls not being catchable.
Townsend, the true freshman from Tampa, waits at the 10. Glover stands at the 35. Just got it off. And a fair catch is made at the 16-yard line. This season, All-State will celebrate every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by making a donation to the school's general scholarship fund. Thank you, All-State. John Rice Plumlee did not play last week against Memphis after a head injury suffered against Cincinnati. Today, 13 carries, 159 yards. Not as effective through the air, but it's been the run game for UCF. They can beat you with so many different weapons in the run game. It was Plumlee in the first half. He comes out with Isaiah Bowser behind him in the pistol. And Plumlee will throw. The slant knocked down. Great play by Monroe, and maybe a little too handsy. Reached over, knocked it down with one hand. Might have had the other hand around the receiver's back.
Yeah, there was a lot of contact, but that was kind of right around.
Pass interference. Defense, number 11.
Right around that 5-yard distance.
And an automatic first down.
You know, they usually kind of let some defensive backs, receivers play, especially in the RPO type system. A little bit of hands, but honestly, I think that's a no call. I really just think Javon Baker's going down to try to make a catch. It looks worse to Jarius Monroe than it really was. We've had some very interesting calls on pass interference and holding by this officials crew today.
Yeah, you're being kind. Bowser now, the sledgehammer to the 29, a gain of 4.
UCF's going to be in no hurry right now. You know, they like to play up tempo. They snap the ball very quickly, a lot of times under 10 seconds. But with a 10-point lead, the momentum in the game, running the football well, I think they're going to try to melt a little bit of clock and slow this football game down.
Harvey got the perimeter, and he's pushed out of bounds near midfield all the way out to the 49-yard line. A pickup of 20 for R.J. Harvey. He's up to 67 yards on the ground, averaging what, almost 7 yards per carry? The season average is 7.5, tops in the American.
If it's not Harvey, it's Bowser. If it's not Bowser, it's Plumlee. If it's not Plumlee, it's Baker. It's O'Keefe. I'm telling you, the weapons for UCF, it's just endless.
They keep it on the ground and a yard to midfield. Taylor?
R.J. Harvey has a pretty amazing story coming back from an ACL injury. He feels like he's finally healthy, but he still had to deal with a little bit of mind games. He said, I still find myself being timid just because you remember the injury. It's something he's battled, but certainly the numbers do not reflect it, and coaches said they certainly haven't seen it.
Yeah, a young man who also made a position change, began his career as a quarterback at Virginia before moving to running back. We'll throw it back to O'Keefe. And he's tripped up in the backfield. Darius Hodges, the D lineman, with a big play. It's 3rd and long.
Great tackle there by Hodges to force the 3rd and long. Not a play you see often, especially from midfield. Usually when you see the throwback, it usually happens more in the red zone. But with Gus Malzahn, anything's possible. Tremendous job, though, by Darius Hodges, staying true to his defense, doing his job, and being there to make the tackle.
You have to tackle in space against the Knights. 4 wide on 3rd and 11. Plumlee finds Kobe Hudson for a 1st down. That's the Auburn transfer. He spent the first part of the season in Gus Malzahn's doghouse, had to grow up, and he has. The last 5 games, he's averaging more than 80 yards per.
If you're wondering what kind of arm Rice Plumlee has, we now know. He just threw a ball 20 yards across the field into the wind, feet not set. It's a big-time throw.
Looking for Baker, tied up with Monroe, and that was blatant. They are coming after Jarius Monroe, starting in place of Jaden Kennedy.
Pass interference. Defense, number 11. The ball will be
and that had to be in the scouting report.
An automatic 1st down.
Listen, the officials, when you're talking about defensive pass interference, you're looking for 2 things. You're looking for early contact, and do you restrict the receiver from making a play on the ball there? That is clear as day. You are restricting the receiver from making a play. That's a good call there.
You just saw Chris Hampton a moment ago. He praised Monroe's play the last 2 weeks with Kennedy out. Monroe, a nickel state transfer. O'Keefe, they like to get him the ball in a number of different ways, as many times as they can. And here he moves the chains, and UCF now knocking at the door. They've got it at the 12.
Tulane's been a very stingy red zone defense this year. Had some good success causing turnovers down there. And UCF on the flip side, they have not finished a lot of drives in the end zones with touchdowns. They've been forced to kick field goals as this season's gone along.
Plumlee fakes the throw, keeps it, takes a big hit by Anderson at the 9. A pickup of about 3, 2nd down, 7 to go.
Plumlee's going to need some Advil tonight. That guy's playing hard. He's playing to win this ball game. I don't think sliding's going to be in his repertoire today. He's going to do whatever it takes to win this football game.
UCF empties it out. And again, you got to account for the quarterback. Now Harvey, the motion man. Plumlee keeps it. Right side, got a block, touchdown. O'Keefe held the block just long enough. And John Rice Plumlee has his 2nd rushing touchdown, his 3rd TD of the game. And it's 30-14 UCF.
And that's why UCF is so dangerous. You know, at home, it just looks like a simple run play where the quarterback fakes the ball and he runs and creates this great play with his speed and athleticism. There's a lot of moving parts to this run scheme. He could have given the football, could have kept it right there, really putting Nick Anderson in a bind. You see him widen with Harvey just for a second, and that gives Plumlee the space he needs to get vertical and end up in the end zone. Great play design by Gus Malzahn and Chip Lindsey.
171 yards on the ground for John Rice Plumlee, the Ole Miss transfer. That's 2 rushing touchdowns. It's a 3-score game. The sun has begun its departure. 8:58 to go in the 3rd here in New Orleans, Louisiana, Yulman Stadium, with first place in the American Conference on the line. Number 22 UCF on top of Tulane, 31-14. And another squib kick into the wind, fielded by Lawrence Keys. He's got some room and brings it out across the 40. Brock, take us back to that last touchdown.
Yeah, going back to it. This is why UCF has such a successful rushing attack. You're going to put Nick Anderson, the star linebacker for Tulane, in a bind where he cannot be right. If he widens with Harvey, who's coming in motion like he does here, Plumlee's going to keep it. If he squeezes down with the offensive tackle and takes the quarterback, then Plumlee's going to give it to Harvey. Once again, Nick Anderson, you cannot be right. Whether you choose to squeeze or widen, you're going to be wrong, and that's why UCF is so great at running the football.
This is Iverson Celestine, only a yard. When your offensive philosophy is heads I win, tails you lose, that's pretty good.
By my calculations, you're going to win 100% of the time.
It's like the old Rosencrantz and Guildenstern coin flip gag. Pitch to Spears. Hurdles across the 45. Seliskar brought him down. Josh Seliskar, number 88 on that D-line. He is what UCF does on defense. He's the heart and soul. Spears goes wide on third down. He catches the screen, turns the corner, and he's got enough to move the chains. Hey, when in doubt, give it to Tajay Spears.
Seriously, that is so impressive. That just shows the speed that Spears has. It's man-to-man coverage by UCF. There is a guy for Spears. It doesn't matter. Throw him the football. He's going to outrun him. You see there Jarvis Ware trailing, trying to make a play. Then you get Morris Brash peeling off the end at defensive end position. No one's fast enough to catch up with Spears and make the play before the first down marker.
Two tight ends in the game. Pratt has time in the pocket. Fires it over the middle and through the hands of McDougal. Thrown a little behind, but that's his second drop of this quarter. 4 drops now for Tulane receivers in this game.
Yeah, I think that goes on the receiver and the quarterback. Yes, could he have pulled that ball in? Absolutely. But that's one where Michael Pratt, he needs to get his eyes in front of the target, lead him, and let him run underneath that. That's a chance for a big-time play. That's a throw that Michael Pratt needs to make.
On the ground. And it's Celestine inside the 45. Third down now. They're down by 17. Still plenty of time to go, but yeah, this is where it could be 4-down territory for Tulane.
Yeah, I think you're right on that, Anish, especially down 3 scores. You've now crossed the 50-yard line. You're starting to feel like the game's getting away from you. Wouldn't be surprised to see there a quick throw here, a quick screen to put it into 4th and manageable.
UCF showing pressure. They'll just bring 4. Pratt over the middle. It's Jackson. Slips a tackle. And downfield to the 30-yard line, a gain of 14. And a first down for Tulane. It's Jaquan Jackson.
Jaquan Jackson, he's got some wheels himself. He wanted to show him off there. He says, hey, you think you're fast? I got some speed too. Tremendous job staying focused, going across the middle. You know there's going to be traffic there. Looks the ball in, makes a big-time play after the catch.
Deuce Watts, the catch, and thrown to the ground by Devontae Brown. He picks up 8 on the play, 2nd and 2. 5th catch for Watts.
Tulane starting to feel it a little bit. They're getting into rhythm. They want to play with tempo, get into the line of scrimmage quickly.
Celestine. First down and out of bounds, shoved out by Jarvis Ware.
Smart play by Ware there to let go. You pull Celestine down there, that's definitely going to be a flag in 15 yards. Smart play, heads up.
Tulane driving into this New Orleans sunset.
Keep an eye out at the top of your screen at the tight end position. Tyreek James, big-time playmaker in the red zone.
Pratt looks the other way on the slant, low throw, incomplete. Intended for the Notre Dame transfer, Lawrence Keys.
Well, Pratt kind of lost his feet there a little bit. I'm not sure if he got stepped on or if he just flat out slipped. Got to get those feet set. Deliver an accurate football. As a quarterback, it's pretty, looks like he just kind of steps right on the running back. But as a quarterback, when your feet are good, you're delivering good footballs and you're throwing accurately.
Pratt 12 for 21, 96 yards through the air. Pumps, fires, he's got Shea Wyatt. And it's 1st and goal, Tulane at the 6-yard line as we come up on 5 minutes to play in the 3rd. Tajay Spears now checking back in, as does Jaquan Jackson.
I love it. That's a veteran running back right there, getting down close to the end zone. You say, hey, redshirt freshman, come off the field. I'm coming back out here.
Will Wallace in motion. Pratt standing in the pocket, now flushed. And he wisely throws it away.
Smart play there. Michael Pratt, don't force anything. You have a field goal in your back pocket right now. You do have points available to you. Don't force anything. Good heads-up play by Michael Pratt.
There's an injured UCF player, and it's Kobe Perry. And remember, Perry is starting at safety today because the Knights are already down 2 of their safeties. We'll step aside. 2nd and goal, Tulane on the other side. I'll look at the national championship trophy presented by Dr. Pepper. We're getting into the end game of the season. We got Georgia, Michigan, and Ohio State out of the Big Ten. TCU with a big one at Texas tonight. A few other teams hanging on the periphery. Oregon out of the Pac-12. Tennessee, not to be forgotten. Second down and goal, 2 tight ends. Clayton's the running back. 12th play of the drive. Pratt, quarterback keeper. And he's brought down at the 5-yard line. It's Perry. So he was shaken up after that last play. Clearly okay. Makes the tackle. 3rd down, goal to go. We come up on 4 minutes to play.
Definitely get a sense that this is 4-down territory. Could Tulane kick a field goal here if they don't score? Absolutely. But just the way UCF is going, you haven't really stopped their rushing attack. I would assume to see this as 4-down territory.
UCF trying to get lined up. They bring pressure. Pratt to the end zone. Incomplete. Off the hands of McDougal. That's 3 times in this quarter. D.D. McDougal has had a ball go off his hands. And Brock, I understand kicking a field goal because even if you go for it on 4th and you get a touchdown, it's still a 2-score game. A field goal would also make it a 2-score game.
Yeah, I agree, and it also cuts into the momentum of the game a little bit. You regain some of that again. I tell you what an incredible throw by Michael Pratt. He sees that the defensive back is going to try to undercut it. He does a perfect job of going up and over. Beautifully thrown pass. That's one that McDougal has to bring in.
The field goal is good. Tulane makes it a 2-score game. 31-17, 3:41 to go in the diminishing daylight of New Orleans. ESPN College Football presented by Sonos. It's a 2-score game here at Yulman Stadium. The winner of this game is in the driver's seat in the American Conference. Tulane entered today as the highest ranked group of 5 team. And remember, it's the highest ranked group of 5 conference champion that gets to play in a New Year's 6 game. Top 2 teams in the American play for the conference championship. No divisions this year. Tulane at 5-0 in conference, the only team unbeaten in conference. Cincinnati has a loss to UCF, and what makes things tricky for Tulane, you look at their closing schedule. SMU, which scored a zillion points last week against Houston. Tanner Mordecai threw 9 touchdowns. That's the next opponent for Tulane. Then they close against Cincinnati. UCF has a much softer landing in its next 2 games. Plumlee hits O'Keefe in the flat, out of bounds across the 30 to the 31. Brock, this game was billed as UCF the top offense in the American, Tulane the top defense in the American. What has allowed UCF to dictate pace of play and dictate things the way they have been offensively?
Yeah, I'd certainly say the #1 offense in the American is winning the battle thus far. And really, I think it boils down to the first quarter. UCF came out right away. They had big-time explosive plays. They had 226 yards in the first quarter, where Tulane was only giving up about 300 a game coming into this football game.
Big Patrick Jenkins running off the field. Play clock at 3. There's another big play. Harvey with a first down. And Taylor?
They're on schedule. We need to get them off schedule. That was the message to Tulane's defense. And they want to be much more efficient on first and second down. What are you seeing in those situations, Brock?
They're just not winning the line of scrimmage. And it's something that we said in the open to this game. When you get 2 great teams come together, these games are usually won and lost in the trenches between the offensive line and defensive line. And right now, UCF's big offensive line that has 4 seniors on it going against 4 sophomores for Tulane. They're winning the battle.
The ball is out. UCF says they recovered. The Knights retain possession. Samuel Jackson able to dive on it. That's the left guard.
Dorian Williams getting his hand on that ball. No stranger to creating turnovers. He's got 4 sacks on the year. 71 tackles, a pick. Knows how to force some fumbles. Big time player at linebacker.
There's Jai Richardson, flag down. Back at the 46-yard line.
It's going to be a hold on Gamble. Tight end for UCF, clearly getting his hands around the defender.
Holding. Offense, number 8. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Second down.
Gamble, another example of the Power 5 talent on this team. A Florida transfer where he was a starting tight end last year. You look at the receiving core, a Bama transfer, Auburn transfer. Plumlee from Ole Miss, Bowser from Northwestern, Harvey from Virginia. They look different.
Yeah, that was a situation where Gamble just needed to let go. He did a great job with Darius Hodges initially, position blocked him well. Then Darius Hodges started winning the battle at 280 pounds. Just let go when you feel the defender starting to win the battle.
Plumlee keeps it, snakes to the outside, and goes down. Dorian Williams got him. A pickup of 6. Third down now coming up. 10 to go. Get the sense this is a big play with a minute to go in the third. If Tulane's defense can come up with a stop, boy, it changes all the momentum in this game going into the fourth quarter.
A little bit of juice coming back into the stadium for this 3rd and 10. Something that kind of disappeared for a while. You see the Tulane sideline definitely getting it back into the ball game.
Plumlee to the air. They set up the screen. Baker devoured the ball's on the ground. Clark picked it up. Was it ruled a catch or a fumble?
No, I don't think that was ever caught.
And it's incomplete. So 4th down, and UCF will have to kick.
Tulane playing a little cover 2 zone defense there with the press corner. Sometimes a worse nightmare for one of these inside tunnel screens to the boundary.
Oh, they ruled Baker down. That was the ruling on the field. So they said he was down, so it's 4th down.
I don't think he ever caught the football.
And that might be the discussion here. Here we go. We'll look at it. That takes us to the end of the third quarter. It's going to be fourth down one way or the other. So hopefully this is resolved quickly. We'll step aside. It'll be fourth down again, no matter what, for UCF. Knights up by 14. So the officials are still looking at that last play, whether Baker dropped the ball and it was an incomplete pass or whether he was down by contact. I don't think there's a scenario in which that's ruled a catch and a fumble. The issue here, Brock, is it really doesn't matter. It's going to be fourth down. UCF is going to be punting. And if you do rule this an incomplete pass, you've now wasted precious time because it should reset the clock back to the third quarter. So then you got to go to commercial again, take another break. It's a mess.
I'm puzzled. I'm just going to say I'm puzzled. It just feels like the officials are trying to almost take over this game rather than just letting it play out, keep the flow, keep the momentum.
After further review, the receiver did not have firm control of the ball. This is an incomplete pass. It will be 4th and 10 at the 42-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 39 seconds. We'll start on the snap.
So they waited to review about a minute and a half into a commercial break. We were waiting for it. There was a Yalta convention going on. They finally decided to review it. Again, it doesn't matter a whole lot given the down and distance, so it's fourth down. Now you've put 39 seconds back on the clock. UCF will punt, and what happens is you get back to the end of the quarter, you take your end of the quarter commercial break. You have people out there who complain some of these games are too long anyway. This is why.
You just hit it all, and you said it perfect. And mind you, both sidelines, they don't like this. Both sidelines just want to line up, play football within the momentum of the game, and you don't want the officials to control it.
Now too late for that.
Boy, this Tulane sideline is juiced up right now. Everyone's jumping around, waving towels. It's going to be a fun fourth quarter.
Here we go. And now a Tulane player's down. Lance Robinson just went down near midfield. Robinson able to jog off. Brock, how many minutes have we gone now without a snap in real time?
Oh, boy. Give me the stopwatch. Where are we at? 10 minutes plus minus? Where do you want to set that over-under at? Let's play some ball.
McCarthy punts it away. Fair catch called for and made by Jackson at the 28. 32 seconds to go in the third quarter. And Tulane down by 14. Green Wave 5-0 in league play. UCF at 4-1. Two top 25 teams. It was 24-7 Knights. Tulane got a touchdown before halftime. UCF a touchdown here in the third. Tulane a field goal. On the ground, Celestine a gain of a yard.
Be interesting to see if Tulane tries to get a playoff before the quarter. Yep, looks like they're going to try to go. They might just try to go a hard count and draw UCF off sides as this clock ticks towards the fourth quarter.
Pratt to the air. That's caught by Shea Wyatt. And he's out of bounds after a first down pickup. Thrown near the UCF bench. And that brings us to the end of the fourth quarter, or the end of the third quarter, for the second time today.
See you in the third quarter.
We're back in 60 seconds. That's a shorter commercial break. Anish Shroff, Brock Osweiler, Taylor McGregor. It's the American Conference on ESPN. The fourth quarter begins with UCF leading by 14. First down for Tulane at its own 40-yard line. Knights have done their work on the ground, almost 300 rush yards against the top defense in the American. Out of the empty set, Pratt to throw, floats it down the sideline, and the catch is made by Deuce Watts.
Deuce Watts working in man-to-man coverage on Devontae Brown. Michael Pratt doing a great job of holding the middle field safety with his eyes for a step or two in his drop, delivering an accurate football in the big box fade. Great throw and catch versus man-to-man coverage.
Wind is starting to pick up a little bit again. Clayton zags to the 30.
Tell you what, a lot of momentum in this second half has come back to Tulane. It really feels like their defense, they're kind of playing this, they're bending, but they're not breaking. Haven't given up points. Tulane, gritty, tough. You know, Gus Malzahn said Willie Fritz, hey, he's an old school tough guy. You can see that in his football team right now, fighting back in this game in the fourth quarter.
UCF brings pressure. Pratt pumps. Dangerous throw. It's caught by Wyatt. Almost picked off by Adams. He was late to the sideline, and he got away with one.
Wow. I tell you what, Wyatt, what a catch. You know, a kid who's had a couple drops throughout this game, but really has picked up his play in the second half. Risky throw there by Pratt, throwing late to the outside. Usually doesn't end up good for you.
Tulane 4 out of 9 on third down. Pratt wants 6. Incomplete for Watts. Devontae Brown with him step for step. And Watts still on his knees. And now crawling out of play.
You can see why Devontae Brown is such a skilled cornerback at 6'2". He's long. He's stumbling, but because of his size, he's still able to get a hand in there, break up that pass. Great job of having a short-term memory. You just got beat on a deep throw, then you come back and you make a big pass breakup.
Fourth down, Tulane from the 27. Will step aside. 13:20 to go in the fourth. With Tulane going into the wind, they'll go for it on fourth down instead of attempting about a 45-yard field goal.
I think this is a great decision by Willie Fritz.
Pratt to the air, got rid of it quickly. He's got keys, and that'll move the chains. A red zone opportunity now for Tulane.
Great play call. Michael Pratt recognized that UCF was bringing a blitz zero, all-out pressure. He checked the play to his blitz speeder. He caught Brandon Adams, cornerback UCF, in inside leverage. What's the best play? An out-breaking route. Great job by Michael Pratt handling that situation.
James, the tight end, the motion man. Clayton has an opening. First and goal, Tulane. And Jarvis Ware was slow to get up.
Well, I can't stress enough how big time that sequence was for Tulane, how they handled that fourth down, getting into a blitz zero beater. Great job by the Green Wave.
Celestine and Clayton. Celestine gets the call. Rumbles inside the 5. He's down to the 2-yard line, second and goal. They'll bring in a heavier package. Will Wallace comes in. Trey Tuggle comes in, number 72. Reggie Brown, another tight end, into the game. And Tajay Spears is the running back.
Bring in the heavy package. You're either going to pound it in the end zone with your running back, or you're going to sell that, go play action, and pop it to a tight end.
The fake to Spears. Pratt rolling to his right. Throws, end zone, touchdown! Reggie Brown.
I tell you what, Michael Pratt, we've talked about a couple missed throws, couple decisions today. 2 tremendous plays. Coming back with this touchdown, he gets to his 3rd guy in progression. He's looking to the flat, then he's looking to the corner. Gets back, does not panic, gets back to his 3rd read on the end of the end zone there. I tell you what, the 4th down conversion, the way he handled that, getting his team into the right play, throwing an accurate football, and then coming back, hitting your 3rd guy in progression on the touchdown pass. That is big-time quarterback play by Michael Pratt.
And it's an unsung hero in Reggie Brown. Just the 4th catch of his career, his 1st career touchdown, and Tulane is within 7.
ESPN College Football is presented by Sonos. Experience game-changing sound made easy.
It was 24-7 UCF at one point. Tulane has made it a 1-score game. Still plenty of time left. 31-24. Knights set to receive. 11:39 to go in the 4th. First place in the American Conference on the line. Fair catch is made by O'Keefe. This drive recap is brought to you by Oral-B.
I tell you what, that was a big-time drive by Michael Pratt and his teammates. Michael Pratt getting the drive started, finding the one-on-one, man-to-man matchup with Deuce Watts on the big box fade. Great throw, great catch. Coming back on 4th down, finding Lawrence Keys for his blitz 0, the outbreaker, and then finishing off the drive with Reggie Brown, his 3rd in progression, to get the green wave within 7 points in the 4th quarter.
Now the Knights come on offense from the 25. Hand off Bowser, and he tatankas his way close to the 30-yard line. Devin Deal with the tackle. And this UCF offense did what it wanted early on, and that was in large part due to the quarterback run game. Since then, not as effective.
Tell you what, we're going to find out a lot about who UCF is as a football team on this drive.
Bowser again. And he plows ahead a yard shy of the marker, 3rd and 1.
Well, we know who Bowser is. That man's a bruiser. That's lowering your shoulder. That's bringing the hit stick there. That's a big-time run.
Bowser again.
He's short.
And he did not get there. 4th down.
He's short.
And Plumlee looking to the sideline.
UCF not even hesitating. Not even hesitating. Bringing in big Paul Rubelt, number 89, bringing in the heavy package.
Bowser, the Wildcat quarterback, takes the snap, rolls right. He'll throw it. He wants Plumlee with one hand. He can't bring it in, but there is a flag. Remember, John Rice Plumlee played wide receiver at Ole Miss, and he almost brought it in, but we do get penalty markers.
Defense, number 11. 15-yard penalty and an automatic 1st down.
4th and short. What a call by Gus Malzahn.
Gus! Wow! What? I've in all my years of playing football, watching football, I've never seen anything like that. You know what that is? That is a coach saying, listen, I trust you, Bowser. I know I got a receiver that can play quarterback out there. I'm going to run by you. No one in this building thought Bowser was going to throw the football there. What a play call by Gus Malzahn.
And he got the flag on Monroe, who's been picked on a lot today.
Wow.
First down at midfield. This is Bowser.
That's incredible how that went down. When the ball was snapped, the offensive line didn't even move, so you almost felt like the ball wasn't supposed to be snapped, but it was. And then next thing you know, you think Bowser's trying to run it. No, he's trying to throw the ball down the field to his quarterback, who's in man-to-man coverage, who, like Anish said, played 2 years of wide receiver at Ole Miss.
Almost looked like a busted play.
That was incredible. Never seen anything like it. That'll get you juiced up.
Second down. They feed Bowser again. That's been a lot of King Koopa on this drive. They only got a yard. And another third down coming up for the Knights. 5 to go.
I tell you what, I don't know what's going to play out during this game, but give Tulane credit. They are tough. They are gritty. They could have been out of this game multiple times. They never quit. They just kept fighting, and they are playing with a ton of grit and energy right now.
Plumlee under pressure, trying to escape, throws back over the middle, and it's caught by Bowser for a first down, but there is a flag back at the 41.
I think it's going to be lineman downfield. Boy, I tell you what, this definitely looks like two teams that after tonight want to be in first place in the American. It's been an all-out fight.
There is no foul for an eligible receiver downfield. Result of the play. It's a first down.
Meanwhile, there's an injured Tulane player.
Immediate timeout.
Keith Cooper walking off the field. A heavy dose of Bowser on this drive from UCF. They've got a first down with 8.5 left. Gus Malzahn's UCF Knights have it at the 31 of Tulane. Or rather the 36 of Tulane. First down and 10 after a third down conversion. More on that in a moment. Here's O'Keefe looking for the edge, does not get there. Well, let's go back to that last third down conversion, and the officials did throw a flag initially for a legal man downfield. Now the O-lineman cannot be more than 3 yards downfield when the pass is thrown.
That's correct. When the ball comes out of the quarterback's hand, go ahead and pause it. And if a lineman is more than 3 yards downfield, which clearly here you have a lineman 4 yards down the field standing next to one of the officials, that should be a flag. Should not have been a conversion for UCF.
Bowser trucks his way inside the 30, picks up 8. So you got another third and short coming up for UCF.
You just hate to see officials control a football game, and it just kind of felt like that a little bit today between some pass interference, some holding just right there. That's, I mean, plain as day. The official standing in the middle of the field, he knows he's standing at 5 yards. The guy's touching you. That's a clear-cut illegal man downfield.
They threw the flag initially, then picked it up, conferred, and said no flag. Bowser again drives the bus inside the 25. First down.
What a run by Bowser. That was a man that was not going to be stopped there. Great leg drive, kept it going.
And you can tell, fourth quarter, this Tulane defense has been out there a lot. You get the big boy, Isaiah Bowser.
Certainly, and that's exactly what UCF did a week ago on the road at Memphis. When they got the lead, they got late into the fourth quarter. It was Bowser right, Bowser left, Bowser up the middle, and I get why. You know, at 6'1", 220 pounds, tree trunks for legs, that's the guy that you want to finish out the ball game for your team.
He has run it 6 times on this drive. Make it 7. And tunnels close to the 20-yard line. TCU, Texas tonight in Austin, the site of game day. A lot of folks in these parts were hoping the ESPN crew with Reese, Desmond, Pat McAfee, and Kirk would make their way to New Orleans. Horned Frogs are undefeated, number 4 in the college football playoff rankings, looking to stay in the top 4 when the new rankings come out Tuesday. Bowser once again. 3rd down, UCF.
UCF just running a duo play. Duo meaning that there's double teams at the point of attack. You got your tackle and guard working together, your guard and center on the other side, your tight ends working together. There's 3 double teams by that offensive line and tight end group. Just true power football for the night.
Hudson, the slot man. O'Keefe wide left. Richardson and Bowser behind Plumlee. Richardson motions out. He catches the screen. He's got the 15 and jets out of bounds after picking up a 1st down for the Knights.
Good play call by Chip Lindsey and Gus Malzahn there. Getting your playmaker Richardson out in space, 5'7", 170 pounds. Quick as lightning. You could see Tulane definitely selling out to the run there. It was a great play call, getting that ball out on the perimeter.
And UCF continues to milk the clock. They've got the lead. They're in field goal range. 2 tight ends in the game. Guess who? Isaiah Bowser hammers his way to the 7-yard line.
Boy, talk about a collision. You got Bowser, Nick Anderson, Dorian Williams all meeting there. It's a big time collision.
Will step aside. 4:15 left in regulation. UCF knocking on the door once again.
Mr. Pepper Fansville studio update. J.J. McCarthy to Ronnie Bell. But this is where things get interesting, Acho.
This is where keeping it real goes wrong. Great play by Ronnie Bell, stays in bounds, avoids tacklers, hurdles over people. Oh, ball comes out. Could be a touchback. Thankfully, it's recovered by Andrell Anthony.
Michigan holds Nebraska to 147 yards in each and a 34-3 win.
And an A+ Chappelle Show reference from Sam Acho. 2nd down and 7 from the 8-yard line for UCF. On this drive, Isaiah Bowser has run it 10 times. He's caught it once. They also threw it on a play that resulted in a penalty. This is Bowser, a little stutter step in the backfield, lowers his shoulder, and he gets to the 4-yard line, a gain of 3 more. It's 3rd down. And Tulane uses a timeout.
I'll tell you what, Isaiah Bowser, there's nothing there. Tulane's filled up every gap. They've played discipline. They're playing hard, but he still finds a way to get positive yards. That's a man that knows how to run hard and plays football the right way. A lot of fun to watch.
1 timeout remaining now for the Green Wave. 4:13 to go. UCF in a good spot here. Even if you don't convert, you got a short field goal, wind to your back.
Yeah, UCF is definitely in control of this game right now with a little bit over 4 minutes to go. Whatever you do at quarterback, just be smart with the football, because you're a couple seconds away from making this a 2-possession game, whether you score a touchdown or kick a field goal.
Plumlee keeps it, reaching, He didn't get to the end zone, but he's got a first down, and it's going to be 1st and goal from inside the 1.
You think Bowser's getting the football now?
He's coming in. Came out for one play.
It's either Bowser running it right down the middle or Bowser's going to do a jump pass, one of the two.
Bowser the back in the pistol. Bowser, touchdown!
That was a smart play by Tulane. They let Bowser score. They know, regardless, UCF is about to make this a 2-possession game. The clock is not Tulane's friend. They let Bowser into the end zone there so they can try to get a quick score, onside kick, and remain in this ball game.
Brock, on that drive, UCF ran 16 plays. Bowser ran it 12 times, and he caught a pass. And a lot of the Tulane fans now filing for the exits. The extra point good. UCF takes a 2-score lead with 3:32 to go.
Might be Isaiah Bowser's easiest touchdown of the season. Tulane saying, hey, you go ahead and run it in. We need the ball back. The clock is not our friend. But credit UCF for that drive, marching down the field, running the football, being physical, and really taking back control of this football game.
And the biggest thing, Brock, they shrank the game. That drive took more than 8 minutes.
You know what I call that drive? That is a championship drive. Whoever wins this football game is in first place of the American Conference and in the driver's seat. And that was UCF saying, hey, Tulane, you're getting back in this ball game. You're starting to get some momentum, but you know what? We're going to put together a championship drive. We're going to do it by running the football. You know we're going to run the football. Can you stop us? The answer was no. Credit the Knights. That was a big-time drive right there.
If UCF holds on, it would then be a surprise if they don't get to the conference championship. The next 2 games against Navy, which is a 3-win team, and then USF, which only has 1 win and also fired its coach.
Yeah, no, the schedule is definitely in favor of UCF. That Navy game's at home. Then you got to go on the road to South Florida, just down the street. Tulane on the flip side, you still have SMU and Cincinnati on your slate.
College football rankings brought to you by Verbo. The #1 team in the country, the Georgia Bulldogs. Ohio State a big winner today. Michigan took care of Nebraska. Big one in Austin tonight. Tennessee dropping 66 on Mizzou. Oregon sitting there at number 6 with a big game against Washington later tonight.
These next couple weeks are going to be a lot of fun to see how these rankings move around. Oregon still has to face Utah. LSU didn't follow up that Bama game against Arkansas the way a lot of people thought they would.
Michael Pratt is hit. It's behind Will Wallace. 2nd and 10. Ricky Barber the pressure. Taylor?
Tulane looking for some type of heroics from their quarterback, Michael Pratt. He told me this week that this scheme means more to him, not just because of what's on the line in the American, but because he grew up in Florida. He used to watch a ton of UCF games, played with or against a lot of the guys on this UCF team. So let's see if he can dig deep and guide this team to some sort of heroic comeback.
Well, it's now a road game. The UCF fans much louder, and there's more of them. Incomplete. Barber again getting pressure. 3rd down. This was a stadium a couple of weeks ago against Memphis that had a record crowd. Had a little bit of cold weather, some rain earlier today. Not as big of a crowd as they thought they would have today, and some of them filed for the exits early. The UCF fans largely have stayed, and now they're getting loud. Four-man pressure, screen pass, Jackson. Got a couple of nice perimeter blocks. He cuts it over the middle. Midfield, into Knight's territory and inside the 40-yard line. Jason Johnson eventually made the tackle. It's a gain of 36. 4 catches now, 85 yards for Jaquan Jackson.
I love the play call. UCF's defensive line is just feasting. Well, how do you slow them down? You throw a quick screen. Jaquan Jackson, big-time playmaker. Great play call by the Green Wave.
Pratt threads the needle to the 30. Jackson again. He now has a career high in receiving yards.
Had a huge punt return for a touchdown last week on the road. Special teams player of the week in the American Conference. Love to see the football in his hands in space.
Back to the outside. Keys slips a defender and gets out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. 2:34 to go here in regulation. Tulane looking to claw back and make it a 1-score game, and then you try for the onside kick.
You do, and pretty soon you got to start deciding, hey, do you keep the momentum and try to get the touchdown, or do you just take the field goal and try to save some time?
And I like this timeout by Gus Malzahn. Give your defense a bit of a breather with Tulane pushing tempo. Knights have 2 timeouts left. The Green Wave only have 1. 2:21 to go here in regulation. The 12th annual State Farm Champions Classic is back Tuesday in Indianapolis. Number 4 Kentucky against Michigan State. Spartans fell to Gonzaga last night. And then we'll have the exclusive reveal of the next college football playoff top 25 ranking after that show. Followed by number 7 Duke, led by John Shire, their new head coach, taking on defending champion and number 5 Kansas. A lot of confusion on the Tulane side. Pratt trying to get the play. It's a screen. Celestine Amtrak's through a few defenders. Gets down to about the 6. Clock continues to run.
Sure looked like a busted play to me. A lot of confusion at the top of the screen with the receivers, quarterback. Nevertheless, great job of making something out of nothing.
Pratt throws to the end zone, incomplete. Reggie Brown wanted a flag, none thrown. 3rd down, 1:53 left.
I think that was a good no call there. Brown going for the football, lost his footing a little bit.
Celestine, the running back. Jackson, the slot receiver. Pratt ducks away. Chased by Barber to the end zone. And there into the waiting arms of Wyatt.
What a play by Michael Pratt. I love it. This kid is a competitor. He is not going to go away quietly tonight. One of his best attributes is being able to keep plays alive outside the pocket. He's got a free rusher in his face with Celestar. Doesn't phase him, doesn't blink, doesn't get rattled, keeps the play alive, keeps his eyes down the field with pressure in his face. That's a big-time football play by Michael Pratt. This kid's played his heart out tonight.
23 out of 38, 236 yards, 3 touchdown passes. And he's also run for a score. Point after for Ambrosio. 38-31, 1:46 to go in the 4th. Tulane has 1 timeout.
Offside. Defense. That penalty decline. Result of the try is good.
Offsides on UCF declined. Tulane has not attempted an onside kick this season. And again, if UCF wins and holds on, they're in the driver's seat in the American. The league did away with divisions, so it's the top 2 teams in the conference that will play for the league championship. Tulane right now sitting in first place at 5-0. Again, UCF can jump them, and if UCF wins, they would have the tiebreak on Tulane and Cincinnati. You got Navy and USF, games you should win. You're playing for the conference championship, and here we go.
Certainly, and don't be surprised if UCF wins, but Tulane wins out, which is going to be a tough task, but they can do.
You get a rematch.
This might be a rematch, exactly.
Onside kick is recovered by Baker, and UCF will have it, and they've got to run out 146. Tulane's got 1 timeout.
Gus is talking to the officials right now. Looks like he wants some time off that clock.
Result of the play is recovered by UCF. Increase the game clock to 1 minute, 45 seconds.
So he did, but it was only a second. This game was billed as the #1 offense in the American in UCF against the #1 defense in Tulane. And UCF has done to Tulane's defense what nobody's done this season as Bowser gets the call on first down. A gain of 2. Tulane will use its final timeout. 1:40 left. The 38 points, the 333 rushing yards, and the 467 total yards, the most Tulane has given up in a game this season.
I'll tell you what, if you just eliminate that first quarter for UCF, right? If you're a Tulane fan, you're looking at this game, if you can just eliminate that first quarter where UCF just came out guns a-blazing, right? And had over 200 yards of offense, they're running the football everywhere. You know, you did a pretty good job. Like I said, you had this bend but don't break mentality, but then on the flip side, credit UCF. They came off the bus, they were ready to play, they got off to a fast start, and now they're in a position where if they can just get 1 first down, they can run out the clock by taking a knee, game over.
Plumlee keeps it, tackled in the backfield by Macon Clark. It's a loss of 3 on the play. 3rd down, long coming up, 3rd and about 12.
They're going to be able to run this clock down to right about 1 minute. Going to have to snap the ball. Got to keep the clock rolling if you're UCF. So if you're going to put the ball in the air, it's got to be a guaranteed completion type play, a quick screen, bubble screen, something like that. Otherwise, you just hand the ball off to keep that clock rolling.
Play clock down to 1. They snap it. It's Bowser up the gut inside the 40. And now you can run this down to about 10 or 11 seconds.
Yeah.
Now it looks to be about 12 seconds, the differential between play clock and game clock.
Tell you what, this was a gutsy performance by UCF. You know, they knew they were coming in here. They had a tall task going against the best defense in the American Conference in Tulane. And like I just said, they came off the bus and they were ready to roll. They played great football. They had big-time explosive plays, and that's what Tulane's defense prides themselves on. Not giving up the big plays, forcing you for the 3-4 yard gains and forcing you into turnovers. UCF played a heck of a football game tonight.
Second charge timeout. UCF.
Gus Malzahn calls a timeout with the play clock at 1. 13 seconds left. All right, Brock. 13 seconds. You tell your punter just kick it as high as you can.
And towards the sideline. You know, I think this is one, you know, unless Tulane says, hey, we're not going to put anyone deep, we're going to go into an all-out block.
Well, that's the other thing I was going to ask you.
And then at that point, you just pooch it over their head, let it roll, let that clock run. But if Tulane puts someone deep, then I think you target this ball towards a pylon, put as much hang time on it as you can, because that clock is going to keep running until the ball hits the ground. But the biggest key is get the ball off. Get the ball off, no holding, get the ball off. Everyone be sound with your technique.
Alex Ward is the snapper.
No one's deep.
And nobody deep for Tulane, so they will try to block this. Mitch McCarthy, the 25-year-old Australian, will punt it away. Here come the green wave. McCarthy gets it off. It bounces and is downed at the 12-yard line. 4 seconds left for Tulane.
Great.
And the green wave will have one more play.
Great execution by UCF special teams there. When you get into a situation like this for Tulane, you say, okay, what can you do? Right? You got to go basically, 91 yards, 92 yards. How do you do it? My first thought is I go back to the Miami Miracle. A couple years back, 2018, Miami Dolphins, New England Patriots, and that play was taken from Boise State against Oklahoma way back in the Fiesta Bowl. You try to hit that deep in cut on the opposite side of the field. You got a guy ready to have the ball pitched to him. You create a little misdirection in the pass game. It's about your only shot in this situation.
And Mazan uses his final timeout. 4 seconds left. A lot of laterals, and you hope somebody on the defense busts. And I'm sure that's the message right now by Travis Williams to his defense. Keep everything in front. Don't over pursue.
Rally to the tackle. Take a good angle. You know, as a quarterback, the biggest thing here is you got to get the ball off, right? You got to give your guys a chance. You're telling your offensive line, hey, give me a shot here. Give me a chance. Hold up as long as you can. There's not many plays in the playbook for a one-play 92-yard touchdown. Or excuse me, 88-yard touchdown, but see what Tulane has here in their playbook for this situation.
Pratt almost intercepted. Time runs out, and UCF has come to New Orleans, and they leave with control of the American Conference. The Knights contingent raining a chorus of UCF as the players meet near the logo at midfield. Tulane can still get a rematch. They've got SMU and Cincinnati the next 2 weeks. UCF now in the driver's seat in the American Conference. They're 5-1 with wins against both Cincinnati and Tulane. Let's get you back to the studio now. And Kevin.
Each want to win on the road for the UCF.